I think about Cabela's in Sydney, that when the parents died, the children couldn't get along, and it forced Cabela's to be sold, and it became part of Bass Pro Shops, and one of the Nebraska treasures gone because of siblings fighting. They held it together while mom and dad were alive, but as soon as mom and dad are gone, bam, the thing completely blows up. And there's some greed in all of this too. If Liz and Oli know that a company that's kicking off $1 million might be worth $5 to $10 million, and they know that the company can get sold and they can put huge cash in their pockets, they might push to get the company put on the market and sold and say to Lars and Marta, we don't give a rip that you might be out of a job. We want our money. This is stuff we see in farming operations quite a bit because the land is worth so much. The income isn't what everybody wants or what the non-farming siblings want. So they push to sell the land and they put one of their siblings out of business. So this is a massive problem. The worst thing you can do, Dad, Mom, is to treat all the kids the same, even though they're contributing differently to the business. So what are some of the solutions to all of this? So from a solution standpoint, the first fundamental that we like to see parents implement is to say stock will only be available in the hands of those that are employed by the company and they're key people in the company. They're actually performing. Next, make sure that each family member has outside employment before they join the company. And the reason that that's important is because you've got to get other people training your kids on how to be diligent, punctual, and willing to live under somebody else's leadership besides mom and dad, and develop the disciplines of working and not being just popped right into the family business and sensing a feeling of being entitled because they're blood of the family that started the company. The next thing you want to make sure is that there's a defined role that they fill. You just don't want to put them on the payroll and say, okay, we're going to find something for them to do. You build the org chart. You determine the people that you need to fill those positions in the org chart, and your child either fits or doesn't fit on the org chart. If they don't fit on the org chart, they don't come to work in the family business. When they come into the company, you want to make sure that you've laid down the fundamentals that they have to outwork non-family members. Because they're blood doesn't mean they get to take the easy path. You want them to outwork the other employees so that the entire team will respect them. If they don't respect your kids, sooner or later there's going to be problems. The last thing I want to mention here is you want to make sure that your kids are presentable as an adult. Now, what do I mean by that? A lot of parents are really lax on how the kids dress, how they groom their hair, how they carry on as a professional. And they let the kids come to work looking sloppy. And if let's say mom and dad were in a nursing home, they still owned the company, but the company needed financing and they needed to walk into a bank, put the financials down on the table, and argue for $1 million line of credit. Ask yourself, if your child went into that bank, would they exude confidence? Would the lending committee look at your child and say, that person's sharp, they've got their act together, they're well put together, and, we've got faith and trust in them that we can go ahead and do that line of credit? So many of the children that I see in businesses today, the parents have not held them to a standard so that they're presentable as an adult.